Hello, future empire builders, and welcome to the blueprint for your greatest creation. If you're watching this right now, it's not by accident. You're here because something within you isn't content with just dreaming about a grand structure. You're ready to lay the first brick. This isn't just another video. This is the moment you step onto the construction site of your own destiny. The title of our journey today is Blueprint to Break Through, Build Your Empire. No more empty lots, because let's face it, unbuilt plans are just empty lots in the landscape of your potential. Excuses, they're simply rotten timber compromising the very foundation you need to lay. If you're tired of surveying barren ground, if you're sick of seeing your aspirations gather dust like forgotten designs, then this message is your call to action. This isn't a theoretical lecture. This is a practical masterclass in construction. A shift in perspective, a bold declaration that your empire is waiting, but it won't erect itself. Let's commit fully. Let's pick up our trowels and lay those bricks. Every magnificent structure begins with an architect, not a passive observer, but an intentional designer. And when it comes to your life, you are the inner architect. Your future isn't a prefabricated building handed to you. It's a complex, custom design that only you can bring to life. We often look around for contractors, for benefactors, for someone to hand us the finished plans or even lay the bricks for us. Someone will notice my talent, we whisper. Someone will give me a break, but here's the foundational truth. No one is building your empire for you. No one is coming to rescue you from the rubble of past failures. No one is going to magically erect the skyscraper of your dreams. It's on you. It has always been on you. Now, that might sound like a heavy load, but isn't it exhilarating to know that the power to design and build your life rests entirely in your hands? Your future isn't determined by the whims of fate or the decisions of others, but by the deliberate placement of your own bricks. Day after day, stop waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal materials, or the perfect foreman to show up and make it easy. Waiting is the erosion of your foundation. The longer you wait, the more unstable your ground becomes, the harder it is to even begin. Think about it. What grand structure have you put off building because you're waiting for someone else to pave the way? Is it the towering business you dream of launching? The robust health you know you deserve? The intricate skill that could transform your career? The truth is, the longer you carry the weight of an unattempted vision, the heavier that burden of regret becomes, and carrying that regret years from now will feel far worse than the immediate discomfort of laying that first, imperfect brick today. You might say, but building is hard. Of course, it's hard. Anything magnificent, anything truly valuable, demands immense effort. The difficulty isn't a deterrent, it's what makes the finished product invaluable. When you force yourself to lay those bricks, even when your hands ache and your back protests, you're not just building an external structure. You're building an inner strength, a steel frame that no storm can shatter. You prove to yourself that you're capable of constructing more than you ever imagined. That conviction in your own capacity, priceless. Let's talk about the rotten timber of excuses. They're so comforting, aren't they? I don't have enough time to lay bricks. I don't have the right tools. I'm not ready to start this massive project, but rotten timber doesn't hold up a roof. Excuses don't build legacies. They don't complete blueprints. What builds an empire is discipline, unshakable commitment, and consistent action. And guess what? Those are all tools you already possess, tools you can sharpen and develop. Stop empowering your excuses. Start empowering your architectural vision. It won't be easy. There will be days when the sun beats down relentlessly, days when the rain turns the site to mud, days when you're tired, frustrated, and tempted to abandon the project. But those are the days that define the master builder. Those are the days that separate the legendary architects from the forgotten draftsmen. Anyone can lay bricks when the weather is perfect. It takes something extraordinary to show up when conditions are brutal. And that's something extraordinary. That's you. If you're waiting for motivation, let me save you time. Motivation is a fickle client. It comes and goes. What you need is discipline. Discipline is the steady hand that keeps laying bricks when motivation is nowhere to be found. Discipline is what gets you on the site when the alarm screams. Discipline is what keeps your focus razor sharp amidst the chaos of the construction zone. Discipline is the silent, consistent force that transforms blueprints into breakthroughs. Take ownership of your architectural destiny. Decide right now that you're done waiting for permits. Decide you're done making excuses for empty lots. Decide you're going to force yourself to build, no matter what, because no one else is going to build it for you, and no one else will care as much as you do about your own magnificent creation. And that's not a burden, it's a profound gift. It means you are the one in charge. You decide how grand your structure will be. Start small if you need to. You don't have to erect the entire skyscraper in a day. But you absolutely must start. Lay that first brick, even if it feels clumsy. Push through the initial resistance. Build the habit of showing up on your personal construction site every single day. And over time, you'll witness the structure rising. You'll see the progress. And most importantly, you'll witness the formidable architect you are becoming, the one who gets it built. Your life is your blueprint, your responsibility. So, stop waiting, stop hoping, stop relying on anyone else to lay the bricks for you. Force yourself to build because your future empire depends on it, and trust me, the finished structure will be worth every single ounce of effort. Every stable structure, every lasting empire starts with an unshakable foundation. It's not about making a grand gesture once in a while. It's about consistently laying brick after brick every single day. And the only way to ensure that consistency is by committing to a daily construction routine. A routine isn't just a schedule. On paper, it's the rebar and concrete, the very structure that holds your project together even when life's storms threaten to destabilize your site. The genius of a routine is that it eliminates decision fatigue. When you know exactly what brick needs to be laid and when, you cut out hesitation. You stop wasting precious time deciding whether or not you'll work because the decision has already been poured into the foundation. All that's left for you to do is follow through. Think about the most impressive structures in history or the most successful builders you admire. Do you think they show up to the construction site every day and just wing it? Of course not. They have meticulous routines they adhere to without fail. Why? Because routines forge habits, and habits build results. When you commit to a routine, you're actively pouring the concrete for consistent progress. Start by identifying the keystone bricks, the actions that will truly move the needle in your grand design. Is it dedicating time to planning, to mastering a new skill, to securing resources? Whatever it is, define it clearly. A solid routine begins with crystal clear priorities for your construction. Now, here's a crucial design principle. Make your routine realistic. It's tempting to draw up a blueprint that looks perfect on paper but is utterly impossible to execute. Don't fall into that trap. The goal isn't to create a routine that impresses other architects. It's to create one that works for you. Start small if you must. Focus on consistency over intensity. It's far better to lay a few bricks perfectly every day than to attempt a monumental pour once a week and burn out. Once your routine is designed, the next step is non-negotiable. Stick to it. This is where many aspiring builders falter. They start strong, but when the initial excitement of the groundbreaking ceremony wears off, they let their routine crumble. Don't be that person. Treat your routine like a sacred contract with your future self, a contract you cannot breach. Your routine is your commitment to your architectural vision, and breaking it means compromising that commitment. There will be days when adhering to your routine feels like the heaviest lift in the world. Days when you're tired, distracted by other projects, or completely unmotivated, but those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when sticking to your routine proves you're serious about erecting your empire. Anyone can lay bricks when the sun is shining. The real test is doing it in the torrential rain. To ensure your routine holds, you must eliminate distractions from your construction environment. Set yourself up for success by creating a workspace that supports your focus and productivity. If your desk is cluttered, if your digital tools constantly flash notifications, if your phone is a constant siren call, you're sabotaging your own build. Guard your focus fiercely. Remove anything that pulls your attention away. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. Set designated times for communication. When you're on the job, be fully present. To ensure your routine holds, you must eliminate distractions from your construction environment. Set yourself up for success by creating a workspace that supports your focus and productivity. If your desk is cluttered, if your digital tools constantly flash notifications, if your phone is a constant siren call, you're sabotaging your own build. Guard your focus fiercely. Remove anything that pulls your attention away. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. Set designated times for communication. When you're on the job, be fully present. Consider the people around you. Are they scaffolding, or are they constantly trying to knock down your walls? If you're surrounded by individuals who don't support your vision or who constantly interrupt your work, it's time to set boundaries. Let them know your focus is critical. Your time and energy are precious resources. Don't let anyone deplete them, and sometimes the biggest distractions come from within. The internal chaos, the anxious thoughts, the endless to-do lists buzzing in your head. That's why mental clarity is vital. Practices like meditation or simply taking a few deep breaths can help quiet the internal noise and bring your focus back to the brick in front of you. Your routine is the bridge between your current unfinished lot and your future grand edifice. It's the daily proof that you are serious about constructing the life you envision. So make that commitment. Design your routine. Stick to it, no matter what, because in the end, the magnificent structure you achieve will be a direct reflection of the routines you meticulously followed. Every architect knows that leaving a plot of land empty, an empty lot, incurs a cost. It's not just lost opportunity, it's wasted potential, wasted resources, wasted time. And wasted time is the one resource you can never reclaim. Every moment you spend waiting for the perfect permit, the ideal weather, or a surge of confidence is a moment you've lost forever. Here's the hard truth. Nothing changes in an empty lot. Waiting doesn't erect walls. Waiting doesn't pour concrete. Waiting doesn't install systems. Action does. When you sit back and wait, you're telling yourself a dangerous lie that tomorrow will somehow be better or easier, but tomorrow is never guaranteed. The truth is, waiting doesn't bring you closer to your grand design, it pushes it further away. It builds a habit of procrastination, and once that habit takes root, it's like quicksand, incredibly hard to escape. Ask yourself, how many metaphorical empty lots have you accumulated from waiting? How many grand designs have been delayed because you convinced yourself you weren't ready to break ground? Look hard at those lost opportunities. It stings, doesn't it? But that pain is important. It's your internal alarm, a wake-up call. You don't get to rewind the clock, but you do get to make a choice right now. Do you keep waiting, or do you start building? Let's be honest, waiting often feels safe. It feels like you're avoiding the risk of a structural failure or the disappointment of a flawed design. But in reality, you're just delaying inevitable progress. And the longer you delay, the more daunting it becomes to start. The fear of that first cut grows, the excuses multiply, and before you know it, you've spent years staring at the same unbuilt vision, stuck in the same patterns. Waiting isn't safety, it's stagnation. Consider what you desire most in life. Is it a fortress of financial freedom? A robust blueprint of health, a network of strong relationships, mastery in your chosen craft. Whatever it is, waiting will never get you there. The chasm between where you are and where you want to be can only be bridged by action. Every day you wait is a day you could have spent laying bricks, designing better, and getting closer to your architectural masterpiece. Let's be real about why people wait. They wait because they're scared. Scared of the initial demolition, scared of the first, clumsy attempt, scared of not being good enough to build what they envision. But here's the truth. Fear doesn't diminish while you wait. The only way to conquer fear is to face it head on. Action is the antidote to fear. The moment you start moving, the fear starts to shrink. Stop telling yourself you need the entire blueprint finalized before you even begin the foundation. You don't. Most people who build great things didn't have all the answers when they started. They figured it out along the way. The process itself is your best teacher. The mistakes are invaluable lessons. Waiting for perfection is just another excuse to avoid the crucial work. And the work is where the magic of construction truly happens. Time is your most valuable resource. You can make more money, gain more experience, or rebuild a lost relationship. But you can't create more time. Once it's gone forever. So why waste it waiting? Why let another day slip by without laying a single brick toward the life you're meant to build? Here's what you need to remember. Starting now doesn't mean your first brick has to be perfect. It doesn't mean you need the entire design figured out. It simply means taking that first step, no matter how small. One step leads to another, and before you know it, you're building momentum. But none of that happens if you remain trapped in the illusion of waiting. You might tell yourself, I'll start when I have more time to dedicate to this project, or I'll start when I feel more confident in my skills. But those are just lies we tell ourselves to feel better about staying in our comfort zone. The truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. The conditions will never be ideal. You have to act in spite of that. You have to create your own momentum. Waiting robs you of your potential. It keeps you in a cycle of someday, but someday isn't on the calendar. All you have is today, this moment, this opportunity. Don't waste it. If there's something you've been putting off building, start now. If there's a grand vision you've been waiting to pursue, start laying the first bricks today. Even a small action is infinitely better than no action at all. When you truly acknowledge that waiting only wastes time, you free yourself from the illusion that you'll somehow feel ready later. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Decide today that you're done waiting. Decide that you're going to take action, no matter how imperfect or uncomfortable it might feel. Your future self, standing proudly within that completed masterpiece, is counting on you to act now. Don't let them down. Don't let yourself look back years from now and wonder what stunning structure could have been if only you'd started sooner. As the inner architect, you'll inevitably encounter structural pain. It's a universal truth. Every grand construction project faces setbacks, broken tools, flawed materials, unforeseen delays, the sheer physical exertion. Pain comes in many forms. The frustration of a project falling short, the regret of unlaid bricks, the disappointment of failed bids. But here's the crucial blueprint detail. Pain can either dismantle you or fortify you. It all depends on how you choose to integrate it into your design. If you leverage it the right way, pain can become the very fuel that drives you to construct things you never thought possible. Take a moment to reflect on the construction pains you've experienced in your life. It might be the frustration of an abandoned project, the regret of lost time, or the sting of a criticism that hit home. Whatever it is, acknowledge it. Don't run from it. Don't bury it. And don't pretend it doesn't exist. Pain is real, and the first step to harnessing it is to face it head on. Most people try to avoid pain at all costs. They numb it with distractions, or push it aside hoping it will vanish, but ignoring pain doesn't make it disappear. It lingers in the background, quietly influencing your decisions and limiting your scope. Instead of avoiding it, use it. Let it remind you of the architectural failures you don't want to repeat. Let it push you to lay those bricks with more precision, to design better, to rise above the challenges. Pain has a way of sharpening your architectural vision. When you're in pain, you start to see things with crystal clarity. You see what truly matters in your design. You see the flaws in your past approaches and the lessons they hold. You see the habits and influences in your life that no longer serve your grand construction. Use that clarity to refine your blueprints, to set stronger goals, and to build them with every ounce of your being. Here's the truth. Pain can make your structure stronger if you let it. Every time you endure a setback, you reinforce your inner framework. Every time you rise after a fall, you prove to yourself that your foundation can withstand more than you thought. And every time you overcome it, you expand your architectural capacity. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the struggle, in the effort, in the unyielding decision to keep building even when it hurts. Think about some of the most iconic structures in the world, or the legendary builders behind them. They didn't achieve greatness by choosing the easy path. They faced pain, just like you. They had failures, rejections, and immense struggles. But instead of letting their pain define them, they let it drive them. They used it as motivation to design smarter, to build harder, to achieve more. If they could construct their masterpieces, so can you. One of the most powerful gifts pain can bestow is a profound sense of purpose. When you've suffered, you understand what it feels like to be at your lowest point. You know what it's like to feel helpless, to feel like abandoning the project. Use that understanding to propel yourself forward and perhaps to help others who are navigating similar construction struggles. Pain can connect you to the broader human experience in a way nothing else can. Don't let your pain be the end of your architectural story. Let it be the beginning of a new, more resilient chapter. Let it be the reason you work harder, the reason you refuse to settle, the reason you keep building when others would simply pack up and leave the site. Pain isn't a sign of structural weakness. It's a sign that you're alive, that you're actively building, and that you possess the immense capacity to overcome. When you use your pain as a driving force, you take control of your architectural destiny. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being the creator of your own empire. You realize that your pain doesn't define your structure, your response to it does. You might not have chosen the pain you faced, but you absolutely can choose what you do with it. Let your pain remind you of your innate strength. Let it remind you of the fire within you, the part of you that refuses to let your blueprint remain an empty dream. Use it as a reason to get on the construction site every morning and to keep pushing forward, even when it's hard. The pain you feel today is temporary, but the growth it can bring to your structure is lasting. Think about the architectural pains you've endured. Wouldn't it feel incredible to look back one day and know that you transmuted that pain into something profound and positive, that you didn't let it break you, but instead allowed it to make you stronger, that you used it as a stepping stone to become the grandest version of yourself? Let's be frank. Most people will listen to these words, not in agreement, and then do nothing. Most will say that was inspiring and still wake up tomorrow too. An empty lot, but not you. If you've stayed with me this far, it means something deep within your inner architect is stirring. Something within you refuses to settle for an unbuilt life. You didn't come this far just to stop. You're here because you're ready to break ground. You're ready to build everything you were meant to be. And deep down, you know it's time. No more excuses for unfinished projects. No more waiting for the perfect materials. No more apologizing for dreaming of a grand empire. 2025 isn't just another year. It's the year you reclaim your architectural power. The year you build with undeniable purpose. The year you stop starting over and finally finish what you began. You have everything you need within your own blueprint. The mindset, the strength, the vision, the fight. All you need now is action. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, right now. Pick up your trowel and start laying those bricks, because your future empire is calling and it won't wait forever. Thank you for being here, and thank you for investing in the construction of your greatness. If this blueprint resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, someone who's been waiting for a sign to start building their own magnificent structure. Until next time, stay focused, keep your plans clear, and as always, keep building forward, because the world doesn't need more empty lots. It needs more master architects like you getting it done.